Good morning. This is Kent Blaylock with SDG Bible Study. That's the SOLI Deo Gloria Bible Study coming to you on this Friday morning, July the 25th, 2025. I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope everyone is ready this morning to close out a work week and close out another day of reading from the Everyday Gospel, a daily devotional by Paul David Tripp. This morning, our biblical text is going to be from the book of Isaiah. We're going to be in Isaiah chapter 13 through Isaiah chapter 17. So 5 chapters to read this morning. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Join me as we read God's word together. Isaiah chapter 13. The oracle concerning Babylon which Isaiah the son of Amoz beheld. Lift up a standard on the bare hill. Heighten your voice at them. Wave the hand that they may enter the doors of the nobles. I have commanded my set-apart ones. I have even called my mighty warriors, my proudly exulting ones, to execute my anger. A sound of tumult on the mountains, like that of many people, a sound of the rumbling of kingdoms, of nations gathered together. Yahweh of hosts is mustering the hosts for battle. They are coming from a far country, from the end of the sky, Yahweh and his instruments of indignation, to wreak destruction on the whole land. Well, for the day of Yahweh is near. It will come as destruction from the Almighty. Therefore, all hands will fall limp, and every man's heart will melt. They will be terrified. Pains and labor pain will take hold of them. They will writhe like a woman in labor. They will look at one another in astonishment, their faces aflame. Behold, the day of Yahweh is coming, cruel with fury and burning anger, to make the land a desolation, and he will exterminate its sinners from it. For the stars of heaven and their constellations will not flash forth their light. The sun will be dark when it rises, and the moon will not shed its light. Thus I will punish the world for its evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. I will also put an end to the pride of the arrogant, and bring low the lofty pride of the ruthless. I will make mortal man scarcer than fine gold, and mankind than the gold of Ophir. Therefore I will make the heavens tremble, and the earth will be shaken from its place at the fury of Yahweh of hosts, and the day of his burning anger. And it will be that like a hunted gazelle, or like a sheep with none to gather them, they will each turn to his own people, and each one flee to his own land. Anyone who is found will pierce through, and anyone who is captured will fall by the sword. Their infants also will be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses will be plundered, and their wives ravished. Behold, I am going to awaken the Medes against them, who will not think about silver or take pleasure in gold, and their bows will dash the young men to pieces. They will not even have compassion on the fruit of the womb, nor will their eye pity children. And it will be that Babylon, the beauty of kingdoms, the honor of the Chaldeans' pride, will be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It will never be inhabited or dwelt in from generation to generation, nor will the Arab pitch his tent there, nor will shepherds make their flocks lie down there. But desert creatures will lie down there, and their houses will be full of owls. Ostriches also will dwell there, and shaggy goats will leap there. And hyenas will howl in their fortified towers, and jackals in their luxurious palaces. Her fateful time also will soon come, and her days will not be prolonged. Now to chapter 14. When Yahweh will have compassion on Jacob, and again choose Israel, and put them in their own land, then sojourners will join them and attach themselves to the house of Jacob. And the peoples will take them along and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel will possess them as an inheritance in the land of Yahweh, for their male and female slaves. And they will take their captors captive, and will have dominion over their taskmasters. And it will be in the day when Yahweh gives you rest from your pain and turmoil and harsh slavery in which you have been enslaved, that you will take up this taunt against the king of Babylon and say, how the taskmaster has ceased, and how fury has ceased. Yahweh has broken the staff of the wicked, the scepter of rulers, which used to strike the peoples in fury with unceasing strokes, which had dominion over the nations in anger with unrestrained persecution. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into shouts of joy. Even the cypress trees are glad over you, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since you are laid low, no tree cutter comes up against you. Sheol from beneath trembles excitingly over you to meet you when you come. It wakens you for the spirits of the dead, all the leaders of the earth. It raises all the kings of the nations from their thrones. They will all answer and say to you, even you have been made weak as we. You have become like us. Your pride and the music of your harps have been brought down to Sheol. Maggots are spread out as your bed beneath you, and worms are your covering. How you have fallen from heaven, O star of the morning, son of the dawn. You have been cut down to the earth, you who have weakened the nations. But you said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will raise my throne above the stars of God, and I will sit on the mount of assembly in the recesses of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. Nevertheless, you will be brought down to Sheol, to the recesses of the pit. Those who see you will gaze at you. They will carefully consider you, saying, is this the man who made the earth tremble, who caused kingdoms to quake, who made the world like a wilderness and pulled down its cities, who did not allow his prisoners to go home? All the kings of the nations lie in glory, each in his own place. But you have been cast out of your grave like an abhorred branch, clothed with those killed who are pierced with the sword, who go down to the stones of the pit like a trampled corpse. You will not be united with them in burial, because you have ruined your country. You have killed your people. May the seed of evildoers not be called upon forever. Prepare for his sons a place of slaughter because of the iniquity of their fathers. They must not arise and take possession of the earth and fill the face of the world with cities. I will rise up against them, declares Yahweh of hosts, and will cut off from Babylon name and remnant, offspring and posterity, declares Yahweh. I will also make it a possession for the hedgehog and swamps of water, and I will sweep it with the broom of destruction, declares Yahweh of hosts. Yahweh of hosts has sworn, saying, surely, just as I have intended, so it has happened, and just as I have counseled, so it will stand, to break Assyria in my land, and I will trot him down on my mountains. Then his yoke will be removed from them, and his burden removed from their shoulder. This is a counsel that is counseled against the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out against all the nations. For Yahweh of hosts is counsel, and who can thwart it? And as for his stretched out hand, who can turn it back? In the year that King Ahaz died, this oracle came. Do not be glad, O Philistia, all of you, because the rod that struck you is broken. For from the serpent's root a viper will come out, and its fruit will be a flying, fiery serpent. And the foremost of the poor will eat, and the needy will lie down in security. And I will put to death your root with famine, and it will kill off your remnant. Wail, O gate, cry, O city, melt away, O Philistia, all of you. For smoke comes from the north, and there is no straggler in his ranks. How then will one answer the messengers of the nations? That Yahweh has founded Zion, and the afflicted of his people will take refuge in it. Now to chapter 15. The oracle concerning Moab. Surely in a night Ar of Moab is destroyed and ruined. Surely in a night Ker of Moab is destroyed and ruined. They have gone up to the temple and to Dibon, even to the high places, to weep. Moab wails over Nebo and Medeba. Everyone's head is bald, and every beard is cut off. In their streets they have girded themselves with sackcloth. On their rooftops and in their squares everyone is wailing, dissolved and weeping. Heshbon and Alilah also cry out. Their voice is heard all the way to Jahaz. Therefore the armed men of Moab make a loud shout. His soul trembles within him. My heart cries out for Moab. Those who flee from her are as far as Zor and Eglath-Shilashaya. For they go up the ascent of Luith, weeping. Surely on the road to Hornaim they keep awake with crying and distress over their destruction. For the waters of Nimrim are desolate. Surely the grass is dried up. The tender grass has completely ceased. There is no green thing. Therefore the abundance they have made and stored up they carry off over the brook of Abarim. For the cry has gone around the territory of Moab. Its swelling goes as far as Eglam, and its swelling even to Beer Elam. For the waters of Dimon are full of blood. Surely I'll put added woes upon Dimon, a lion upon those of Moab who have escaped, and upon the remnant of the land. Now to chapter 16. Send the tribute lamb to the ruler of the land, from Selah by the way of the wilderness to the mountain of the daughter of Zion. Then, like fleeing birds or scattered nestlings, the daughters of Moab will be at the fords of the Arnon. Bring us counsel, make a decision, cast your shadow like a night at high noon. Hide those banished, do not reveal the one who flees. Let the banished of Moab sojourn with you. Be a hiding place to them from the destroyer. For the extortioner has come to an end, destruction has ceased. Oppressors have completely disappeared from the land. And a throne will be established in loving kindness, and a judge will sit on it in truth in the tent of David. Moreover, he will seek justice and be prompt in righteousness. We have heard of the pride of Moab, an excessive pride, even of his lofty pride, pride and fury. His idle boasts are false. Therefore Moab will wail. Every one of Moab will wail. You will moan for the raisin cakes of Kir Hareseth, all those who are utterly stricken. For the fields of Heshbon have languished, the vines of Sibmah as well. The lords of the nations have trampled down its choice clusters, which reached as far as Jazer and wandered to the deserts. Its tendrils spread themselves out and passed over the sea. Therefore I will weep bitterly for Jazer, for the vine of Sibmah. I will drench you with my tears, O Heshbon and Alilah, for the shouting over your summer fruits, and your harvest has fallen away. Gladness and joy are taken away from the fruitful orchard. In the vineyards also there will be no cries of joy or shouts of jubilation. No treader treads out wine in the presses, for I have made the shouting to cease. Therefore my inner being moans like a harp for Moab, and my inward feelings for Kir Hareseth. So it will be when Moab appears, when he wearies himself upon his high place, and comes to his sanctuary to pray, then he will not prevail. This is a word which Yahweh spoke earlier concerning Moab, but now Yahweh speaks, saying, within 3 years a hired man would count them. The glory of Moab will be dishonored along with all his great population, and his remnant will be very small and not mighty. Now to chapter 7, the oracle concerning Damascus. Behold, Damascus is about to be removed from being a city, and will become a fallen ruin. The cities of Aroer are forsaken. They will be for flocks, and they will lie down in them, and there will be no one to cause them to tremble. And the fortified city will cease from Ephraim, and sovereignty from Damascus, and the remnant of Aram. They will be like the glory of the sons of Israel, declares Yahweh of hosts. Now it will be in that day that the glory of Jacob will wane, and the fatness of his flesh will become lean. And it will be even like the reaper gathering the standing grain, as his arms harvest the ears of grain, or it will be like one gleaning ears of grain in the valley of Rephaim. Yet gleanings will remain in it like the shaking of an olive tree, 2 or 3 olives on the topmost branch, 4 or 5 on the twigs of a fruitful tree, declares Yahweh, the God of Israel. In that day man will have regard for his Maker, and his eyes will look to the Holy One of Israel. He will not have regard for the altars, the works of his hands, nor will he look to that which his fingers have made, even the Asherim and incense stands. In that day their strong cities will be like forsaken places in the forest, or like branches which they have forsaken before the sons of Israel, and the land will be a desolation. For you have forgotten the God of your salvation, and have not remembered the rock of your strong fence. Therefore you plant delightful plants, and set them with vine branches of a strange God. In that day that you plant it, you carefully fence it in, and in the morning you cause your seed to flourish. but the harvest will be a heap in a day of sickliness and incurable pain. Alas, the uproar of many peoples who roar like the roaring of the seas and the rumbling of nations, who rumble on like the rumbling of mighty waters. The nations rumble on like the rumbling of many waters. But he will rebuke them, and they will flee far away, and be pursued like chaff in the mountains before the wind, or like whirling dust before a whirlwind. At eventide, behold, there is terror. Before morning, they are no more. Such will be the portion of those who pillage us, and the lot of those who plunder us. That is going to conclude our reading from the biblical text. Now for our devotional reading. God, in grace, not only forgives us, but he also restores the things sin has damaged or destroyed. There are many wonderful old homes in Philadelphia. I get excited when someone purchases an old broken down house and instead of tearing it down, chooses to restore it. I love watching the slow progress of the damage being undone piece by piece. I tried to imagine what the house looked like in its former glory, and I love seeing that former glory progressively return. Even though I don't own the home, I find myself celebrating the fact that time and disrepair have not won. When the work is finally done and the house stands regal and beautiful, I celebrate the victory. But as much as the restoration of any physical thing is a victory over time and decay, it doesn't compare to the eternal glory of restorative grace. We must understand and celebrate the truth that God's grace doesn't end with forgiveness. It extends and extends until all that sin has damaged or destroyed is fully and finally restored. We get a glimpse of God's restorative mercy in Isaiah 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have compassion on Jacob and will again choose Israel and will set them in their own land, and sojourners will join them and will attach themselves to the house of Jacob. God was not willing to leave his children in captivity and defeat, even though they had not earned it, nor did they deserve it. God would restore the glory of his people, not just for their good, but for his own glory. He would demonstrate that nothing could get in the way of his eternal redeeming plan for a world so damaged by sin. He would restore and preserve his people so that out of them could come the ultimate restorer, the Lord Jesus Christ. Passages like Isaiah 14 are not in the Bible just to record the progress of redemptive history. They are also there to help you understand God's character and plan. These restorative moments are God's reminders that he cares about the damage sin has done to us, our families, the natural environment, our neighborhoods and cities, and our systems of education, industry, and government. Everything has been damaged by sin, somehow and in some way. God's love for us is so vast that he forgives us and restores us. Your Lord begins by restoring you so that you can live as he designed you to live. But there will be a day when he will make all things new. In almighty mercy, he will reverse every bit of damage sin has done, and we will live forever in peace and righteousness in a totally new world. This broken down house that we call home will not be broken forever. You live in the middle of the brokenness now, but there is hope because the divine restorer has entered the house, and very good things are on the way. Let's read Revelation 21, verses 1 through. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth passed away, and there is no longer any sea. And I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, made ready as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is among men, and he will dwell among them, and they shall be his people, and God himself will be among them. And he will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there will no longer be any death. There will no longer be any mourning or crying or pain. The first things passed away. And he who sits on the throne said, Behold, I am making all things new. And he said, Write, for these words are faithful and true. And I am so thankful this morning for this truths that we see in Isaiah, but we also see in the book of Revelation that one day all things will become new, that God is going to rule and reign. He's going to correct, and we'll live in peace and harmony and righteousness. Sin will be defeated. Oh, it's a day that we all long for, and I look forward to. Are you looking for and awaiting for that day? Are you trusting in and having hope in one day being delivered from this sinful world we live in? I pray you are. Hope you have a blessed day today. Enjoy this Friday and give God the glory he deserves. Soli Deo Gloria.